Welcome fellow vintage Ray-Ban lovers out there, hope you're well and welcome to another video. So today is how to tell whether your vintage Ray-Ban large metal aviator is fake or 100% genuine. So in front of you, you have two large metals. The top one here is what Ray-Ban called large metal, and the bottom one here is what Ray-Ban called large metal 2. The only difference between the two versions is by size. As you can see, the bottom one is bigger than the top one. The top one is 58mm by 14mm and the bottom one is 62mm by 14mm. The 58 and 62 refers to the size of the lenses, and the 14mm refers to the size of the nose bridge here. So how you measure the lens size is by Endpiece, which is the hinge point here, to the nose bridge, which is here. So on the large metal 2, that would be from here to here. So from the hinge to the nose bridge is 58mm on this one, and then from the hinge to the nose bridge is 62mm. The 14mm is basically from here to here or from here to here, both 14mm. You can get different sizes of nose bridges. You can get 16mm, you can get 12mm, and you can get 10mm. However, we will just concentrate on 14mm as that is the most common size that B&L Ray-Ban brought out. So if we concentrate on the 58mm, and then I can take you through the various identification points. If we look at the brow bar, which is at the top here, if I just turn it over, so on all brow bars you will get the inscription of B&L Ray-Ban USA. So the most important part of that inscription is the USA part. Now if it says Italy, if it says US, if it says IT short for Italy, if it even says Timbuktu, then you do not have a genuine frame. It must say USA at the end of that stamping, because all of these frames are originated from USA. It may have other variations dependent on the age of the sunglasses, where it may just say Ray-Ban. But for this particular case, and just to make things simple for you, just look out for B&L Ray-Ban USA. If we look at the base of the brow bar here, what you're looking out for is the wording B&L Ray-Ban and then the size. Particularly for this one, because it is a large metal of 58mm and 14mm, it will say B&L Ray-Ban 5814. So next is the nose bridge here. So the actual shape of this nose bridge is a typical shape for all vintage Ray-Ban aviators. It will not look like any of these. It will always look like this particular one, but be careful, because sometimes if you're buying second hand particularly, these nose bridges will be bent, and it won't look like this. But if you was to bend them back out or bend them back in, whichever way you want to look at it, then it will generally look like this. And this is the shape on how it comes out of the factory. So the next thing to look out for are the lenses. So here we have a typical vintage Ray-Ban lens. I'm not going to go into detail, it's more about the shape. This is a typical shape for any vintage Ray-Ban Aviator, which they call the teardrop. The next thing we can look at are the nose pads here and here. So you will get two nose pads, obviously, but it's more about the shape of the nose pad stems that I want to show you, and that is a typical shape. If you see any other shape where it's straight or where it's complete like a right angle, then you do not have a typical Ray-Ban large metal frame. All Aviator frames have this kind of shape where it looks like a swan neck. So that's another thing that you need to look out for, because many of the fake Aviators will try and copy this shape but won't get it quite right. Excuse me. Or they just won't even bother making it into this shape. So if you see a picture on the interweb and you can't quite see the shape of the nosepad stems, then I suggest you need to be asking for a picture, because that will be the biggest giveaway. The next thing to look at is the actual nose pads. Now I don't know if you can see that, but in there will be an inscription BL. Now, not all nose pads have that inscription, but if you do find one that does have that inscription, then it will look like this. Now, if you're new to Ray-Ban Aviators, sometimes the fake models do have that inscription, and if you know what you're looking for, you will notice the difference immediately between one that is fake and one that is genuine. And I'll show you. Here's a fake one. And once again, here is a genuine version. So the next thing to look at is if I put my pen down, is the end piece or the hinge. So you can see there is two screws. So that requires a flathead screwdriver. No vintage Ray-Ban Aviator will have any other screw except these types of screws. So if you see one that is a Phillips head or a cross head, then you've probably got the wrong screw in there, or it is a Luxottica version Aviator. The other thing I want to show you is just the end of the temple. As you can see there, it is a pointed sort of end section to the temple. Going on to the temples, if I just turn this right here, there will be no writing on the temples. It will be completely plain. So if you see writing on the temples, then that is a Luxottica version. If we look at the ear paddles, and as you can see, the temple there almost goes to the end of the ear paddle. Right there. Sometimes you may get some numbering on the end of this paddle here, which is obviously going to be a bonus, because then you can look it up on the interweb to find out if the actual model number exists. But if you don't, that is what the ear paddle looks like. And there you have it, folks. That is how to tell whether or not your vintage large metal Ray-Ban aviators are fake or 100% genuine. Peace.